I'm Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make carrot cake bars. They're easy to make, a perfect fall time treat. Now let me take you over the ingredients so we can get started. You'll need some all-purpose plain flour, some shredded carrots, regular plain granulated sugar, brown sugar, eggs, unsweetened applesauce, vegetable oil, pumpkin pie spice, salt, baking powder, and baking soda, and some vanilla. Those are the ingredients you're going to need just to make the cake part, and in a little bit, I'll show you what you'll need to make the frosting. Okay, so where do we start? First of all, get your oven preheated to 350 as always, and I've got here a 15 by 10 by 1 inch baking sheet that I have, with baking pan that I sprayed with non-stick spray and laid the bottom with parchment paper. Let's get right into it. I'm going to mix all my dry ingredients together, which are the flour, the pumpkin pie spice, salt, baking soda, and baking powder. And if your supermarket doesn't carry a blend of pumpkin pie spice, you can always make your own. And I have my own special recipe on laurinthekitchen.com if you want to use that. But whatever you fancy. So, to my shredded carrots, I want to take some of this mixture and I want to coat the carrots well with it, because what happens is once the carrots are coated, they will make sure that when you put them in the batter, they distribute very evenly and they don't sink all the way to the bottom or get stuck in one specific spot. So just take a couple extra seconds to mix it all together. I'm going to put a little bit more. That looks great. Now let's work on the wet ingredients. In this bowl, slightly smaller bowl, I'm going to take both kinds of sugar. I'm going to put that right in there, break it up just a bit, along with my eggs. I mean, it's really straightforward and easy. There's no real particular way to do it. You just do the wet ingredients in one bowl and the dry ingredients in another. And I know I'm going to get this question, but yes, sugar is usually included in the wet ingredients. So that's why it's always added at this stage. Splash of vanilla. And then I'm just going to mix it with my little handheld electric whisk until it's all combined. That looks fabulous. Smells amazing already, and nothing has even gone into the oven. So now just put the wet into the dry. That's usually the way it goes, but you know what? There's no really right or wrong way to do this. Just make sure it's all mixed and it will turn out fabulous. Mix this together until it's all combined. Awesome. Now I'm going to just take my spatula and I'm going to run it on the sides. Just make sure that if there's anything that hasn't gotten mixed through, then I catch it. And now I'm going to fold in my carrots. Now the reason why I'm folding them in instead of mixing them in is really to just prevent from over mixing. Because if you over mix it, you're going to end up with a really tough batter. And that's not pleasing to anybody. And certainly not pleasing to me. So just going to mix these up until they're all pretty much incorporated evenly. Great. Just pour this right in. And just use your spatula to even everything out as best as you can. Now the great thing about this, you know, like any carrot cake batter really, if you want to, you can add, some toasted walnuts in here or pecans or any kind of nuts that you prefer. You could do raisins if you wanted to. You could add dried cranberries if you wanted to. It's completely up to you. I'm going to keep it as is because I want it to be nice and sort of soft with a really fabulous creamy frosting on the top, and it's going to be perfection. Now this is going to go into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes or until a toothpick inserted into the center comes out clean without any wet batter on it. And then you want this to cool for a good couple hours. You want it to be completely cooled before we frost it. My cake baked for about 25 minutes and I've let it cool completely. Now on to making the frosting, which is going to be super easy. You're just going to need some powdered sugar, some cream cheese that's been softened at room temperature, a little bit of unsalted butter that's been softened as well, some vanilla, and some orange zest. That's it. I mean, it's easy and it's simple, and I really think you're going to enjoy it. And the little bit of orange zest in here kind of takes these to a new level, and it really plays off the spices really well, I think, that's in the cake. So I like it. I'm going to put about the zest of half of this orange. I'm going to just grate it right in here. Okay, that looks great. Make sure you get all the stuff that's back here because sometimes it gets stuck. So there you go. Now I'm just going to mix this up with my handheld mixer here until it's all nice and creamy. Great. Just gonna scrape the sides. And I'm going to add some, well, all of my powdered sugar. And now just carefully and gently, I'm just gonna mix this all in to incorporate and mix it until it's nice and creamy. That looks awesome. Got it a little bit all over the place, but that's okay. That's a little special treat for the cook. Now, if you feel like your frosting is a little too thick, you can always thin it out a touch with a little bit of milk, which is actually what I did. I added just about a tablespoon of milk to this, just to kind of bring it together and make it a little bit creamier. Okay, now let's bring this over. And I'm going to just put this on top of my cake. I'm trying to get it all out of here. You just want to level this as best as you can. That looks so yummy. I love the specks of orange running through it. I think that kind of adds such cute little, so good. Now you really should let this set for a bit before cutting into it. I'm going to cut a little piece just to kind of give it a test, and then the rest of it I'm going to pop in the fridge for about 10 minutes to kind of let the icing set. But I'm just going to cut that piece right there in the corner. Now I'm just going to give this a quick taste. Look at that. The cake is so fluffy. That is on the money. It's so surprisingly, but what's surprising about this recipe is the fact that there's sugar in it, quite a bit of it, but it's not too sweet at all, and with the help of the orange zest, it kind of really gives it a nice fresh note to it. I adore this recipe. If you want to get your hands on this recipe, go to laureninthekitchen.com. I hope you've enjoyed spending time with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.